if I already saved that file, so I just need to upload the folder or something, or is that like how can I upload in the GitHub?
So yeah, the same way as we upload
Okay,
in as
okay,
we
then
upload
I'll
the
try.
usual file.
Okay.
So I have also included the in here even KPI dashboard. Here
Uh,
I have included I have added dashboard. Yeah, I think in this one we will have
okay.
KPI dashboard. Yeah, here it is.
Mhm.
So take a snapshot of your dashboard and add that in README file. README file. So how you can add that in, that is you can specify your location, like in GitHub your file is in where in which location your GitHub your file that file is. You can give that location, give that path here,
Mhm.
and then your work you can add a picture in your README file. You can
So
you,
first I have to download the GitHub. Like before, you were saying we can get the files in our system. Is that the same? We have to do this as well, or no? That's not required, like for uploading.
if you want to see my details whatever I have uploaded here,
Yeah.
then you can download all my information through git clone. Here you can copy this URL and you can clone all the information from
Okay.
this from my GitHub link. So if in case if you want to add in yours
Mhm.
in your GitHub, you can simply upload all the information.
Okay.
So have you added your README file in your GitHub?
Not yet.
Yeah, try to add a README file and try to add the work or whatever you have done. Like we have done one dashboard in Excel, one
Mm.
dashboard in for KPI. So add that in your README file
Okay. So
so
I'll
that
upload all the files that all the work that I have done.
yeah, yeah, so that recruiter can easily see your work, whatever you have done.
Sure.
You can add that in your CV.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. If you face any problem, then I can help you with that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
It's already 18. Or even you can, if you have any problem in GitHub, you can even uh, look at YouTube and you can see in YouTube if you look for GitHub tutorial, GitHub,
Yeah.
yeah, you can find GitHub tutorial basics, beginners for beginners. You can even view this video.
Yeah. I'll try
Yeah.
to do
Eh,
that. If there would be any issue, then I'll
okay.
ask
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Also try to look at this video. Even it's like 8 minutes to 20 minutes video.
Sure.
If you have a look over this video, then it will be much clearer to you. And
Okay.
if it, okay, and then if you still have any question, then you can ask me anytime.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so whatever you have done till now, try to include all that in your GitHub because that's the proof of your work, whatever you have done.
Mhm. Okay. Sir, I have a question. Like the PG admin file, usually where we work on, how can we save that file on our desktop?
So PC admin is your database, right?
Yeah, because
PC
it is
ad-
usually open in the Chrome or in the in the Google or something, but there is no particular app where like that I can save in my system. Just want
so
to know.
so whatever you have your information in PC admin. So here we have our database, right? So all
Mhm.
information is stored in this database, in this table inside PC admin. So you don't need to save that in your local machine. You can query or you can retrieve any information you have stored by going through PSP admin, and you can query your information there.
Okay, so that means it's already saved, like,
Yeah, yeah. Once you insert or once you import files,
okay.
all things are saved here in PC admin.
So from where we need to check, from the servers or something like?
So this PC admin is your local. You can say this is your local database. You are not connected to any server. So this is your local database. Inside in your local, like you store things in file and all.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, inside your local database, you can store, you have all these tables. This is locally stored in your data in your machine. So
Okay.
whenever you browse all information like customer, last time we did, I think these
Mm-hmm.
all tables are stored. Anytime it is stored there, it will
So,
not
sir, I have one
delete.
question as well. Because usually we upload the file like before we upload the file here, like the I hope you remember the other one,
Yeah.
TXT and the other one. So, without uploading any file, is it possible to create the tables on our own, or any every time we have to upload the files?
So once we have a file, like once we have a file, one time we need to import that file in our database,
Okay,
and
so we
for
need.
that we need to create tables. Yeah.
Okay.
So so while I was working in healthcare company, we used to receive like daily, you can say like 400 to 500 files for all client.
Okay.
And what we used to do is we don't really used to look at the location of file every time. So one your file was stored in one particular location,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and from there we have data analyst who looks for the layout, which delimiter it is, and he prepares a, like you can say for example, uh, suppose suppose for example your file is, so we need to have information like what's the delimiter of your file. Delimiter is and length is most important in your file. So delimiter is whether it's pipe delimited. Delimiter means like your separation, it's a pipe or it's a comma separated file, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so it's
So
comma
that's
or
already okay. That's already in the file as you shown us
yeah,
last.
yeah. So it's already in suppose for example customer file. So
Mhm.
this comma is already there, right? So from here we, so if we receive this file again, so what we used to do is we used to look at the columns here. So in this file we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 columns, right? This is my columns, right? So if the new file has 10 columns and it's a comma separated file, then we usually append that information in this file, like we used to add that information.
Okay.
So the check will be to check if the column name matches and delimiter is equal. So if delimiter is comma and the all fields are 7 fields we have in another column in another file, then the match will be on basis of your delimiter and length of your file. So length means like how many fields you have, 7 fields. So if we have 10 files and 10 files is your comma delimited and has 7 fields, then we store that 10 files in one location. Yeah, that's how we store that file. So raw file can be anything. Raw file can be like 500 to 600 files. We usually receive 500 to 600 can be the raw files.
Yeah.
Then we call this as stage file. Stage file means like converting the raw to stage, enhancing data from raw to stage. We usually say so raw file and then stage file. So in stage file, what we used to do is we used to look at all the layouts like delimiter and what the length is, and if that the delimiter and length matches, then we store that file in one location. So in one location we store 10 files, 12 files. Another location we store 23 files. Also, if this is a customer files, then this would be also the customer. This is the customer 12 files. Another is my sales files. Then in this way we store all information in one folder. We make one folder as customer.
Mhm.
Inside customer we store your files. So one folder as sales, and then sales inside 13 files, 23 files.
Okay.
So we used to store information like this. Where's Himalaya? Is still not joining. So usually we store file in S3 bucket. Like this is S3 bucket. This is the bucket that Amazon provide us. Like you can say right now this information is stored in my local machine, right?
Mhm.
So if you want to move the thing to cloud, what we say, like Amazon, you have might have heard of Amazon cloud service, like Azure cloud service. So where the the use of cloud is anybody can access file from anywhere, right? So right now this file is in my local machine, and so I can access only in my desktop, right? So when I move this file to cloud means anybody can access, right? You can also access, I can also access, anybody can access, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, so in a real world we usually work in cloud. Everything is stored in cloud so that anybody can access any files, right?
Okay.
So okay, so cloud, one of the main giant cloud is on Amazon. So this Amazon cloud is one of the most widely used cloud service. Every company uses this Amazon web service, cloud service. So in Amazon cloud service, what happens is we have S3. There we have S3 bucket, S3 in S3 Amazon. So in Amazon, if you see, so S3 bucket is where you can store all your files, right? So if you store file in S3 bucket, that means you are storing your file in a cloud where anybody can access your file from anywhere, provided they have credential, like they have the username and password to access. So we usually store the file in S3. In real world, you will see those who are working in healthcare or any analytics company, if they are using Amazon service, they store all files in S3 bucket. We usually say that S3 bucket. So here, for example, your S3 bucket can be like my invent. Inside invent, I have this folder. Inside this folder, I have this file. So
Okay.
people usually store their information based on your, just suppose my, for example, for my case, this is my customer file, right? So I will create a folder called customer. Inside customer, I will give a date, in which date I received that file, right? Inside that I will add all my file. Inside that I will create a folder that distinguishes whether my file is of 5 delimited or 7, or it has 7 length or 12 length. So that in that way I will add one folder here, and inside folder I will add that file, so that everybody can know this is a customer file, and inside customer this is the date where this file was received. Inside that they will see, oh, this is a delimited file and it has 7 length.
So I have a question, like if it's like access of everyone in our file and the data, so is that safe?
No, you have a username and password, you will have credential, like you will have,
No one can open it.
yeah, so those who have access, they can only open it.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is how we store all information in cloud. Like
Mhm.
in our, when I was working in a healthcare company, we used to store all information in S3 bucket. So let's start. It will come. I don't know when he will come. Let's start because we are already. It's already 8:22.
It's Varia trying to join. She's asking for password.
Uh, So to go inside Tableau using Tableau for visualization and week 5, and I have, so today we will work on calculated field. So this is my presentation. So is it joining?
Seems like. So in Tableau, in week 5, which file name?
So in week 5 we have a presentation slide, calculated
Oh,
fields.
okay.
Okay, so let's start. So
Oh,
we have, so okay, she's listening. I think she will listen. Okay, let's start. So in last week we discussed about calculated field while preparing our KPI dashboard, right? So let's discuss more in detail how to use calculated field in Tableau. So in Tableau we have four types of data type. You will say the one is string, and another is date, time, number, and boolean. So string. So strings are characters enclosed in single or double quotes. So for example, data analytics, if this is in double quote here or single quote. So whatever value we have in a single quote or double quote, that is all strings. So if the data is not in a string, and if we want to convert our data to a string, then what we can do is we can use str. Inside str function, we can convert anything to string. So if we pass anything inside str, then we will convert our data to string. Yeah? And then we have the second data type is date time. Date time values are enclosed within hash marks. So whenever we have hash mark, like example August 2021 hash on the start and on the end, then that is treated as my date. The numbers are just numbers, and boolean values are like a true or false, 0 or 1. If we have something true, then we give a 0 1. If something is false, then we give 0. And this is usually the result of a comparison. So whatever, if we do any comparison, then we get a result as true or false. That true or false is my boolean data type. So calculation syntax, the elements of calculation in Tableau we use is we often have four elements of calculation. The first one is functions, fields, arguments, and label of details. So functions are my built-in calculation. For example, we use here ABS. So ABS, what it does, it converts my numerical value that is in negative to positive. So whatever value we have, the apps convert that value to positive. We will discuss this in more detail. So but we can say that function is our built-in calculation, like sum or average, mean, all are my built-in calculation. So that is function. And fields are columns from your data source. So whatever column we have, the field names are the column headers value, and they are enclosed in square bracket. So whatever, for example, we can see here square bracket paid amount. So whatever the things that we have in square bracket are my fields in Tableau. And my ABS is, so this uh, so here my this ABS, this is my function, and this is my field. So function can be ABS or sum or average, whatever we have, that can be my function in Tableau. So if this field is enclosed with two brackets, open close, then this is my field name. So it should start with this square bracket. this square. Like, so calculation syntax, in calculations we have third calculation which we do is, that is argument are values that go in parentheses. So if we don't have anything that is outside of my bracket, like outside of my, in last example we did bracket, we gave field name, so this was my paid amount. This, if you don't have any field name here, and if we give any numerical value that is in small bracket, then this is my argument. So for example here, if we give something in a small bracket, like for example -23 or any value we pass, that will be my argument. And
But sir,
then,
before it was a function, I think, like,
so this is called abs, this is my function, this is my function, and
and value is argument.
this is my argument.
Okay.
And if we give a field name, this is my field name. Then we have label of details. The label of details is, this is the advanced calculations that mix summaries of both data level, which means, so whenever we have a aggregation function, like whenever we aggregate information, for example sum, so my aggregate function is, we have discussed about aggregate function. So my aggregate function can be sum, count, mean, max. So whenever we have aggregate function, then we use label of detail. So if we need to do any aggregation based on sum or count or mean or max, we use label of detail expression. So label of details is often, if we, it starts with curly bracket. So whenever we have curly bracket here, it starts with curly bracket, and then we have three terms used here. One is fixed, we will discuss this in more detail, fixed, and one is include, and one is exclude. And then we provide the field name, and then we use, then we give aggregate function. This is my aggregation. So what this will be doing is, on basis of year, this will group, this will take all sum. So on the basis of year of order date, it will take sum of paid amount. So what this will do, on the basis of year of order date, it will take sum of paid amount. So for example, if my order, my handwriting is very bad, order date and paid amount we have here. So my order date is, suppose for example 2020 201, 2020 202, 2021 0201. If this is $25, $20, $21, what this function will do is, it will take year 2020, and it will add up, do the sum of this and this, which is 45. And then for 21, 2021 it will take 21. So this will be my output. This is similar to doing group by in SQL, where we do group by on basis of my order date. If you take year of order date, and we do group by using some, doing some, and doing group by is similar to in Tableau. If we want to use our aggregate function, we need to give LOD, that is label of details, and we have three label of details. One is fixed, include, and exclude. On basis of that, we will do aggregation. For example, if you want to do aggregation on basis of order date, then we can give here either sum or average or max or mean, whatever we like we can give here. So this is the way, this is the syntax of how we do aggregation in Tableau. That is often called as level of detail, and this is very important in terms of your interview. Even in interview questions, mostly they ask is about LOD, what LOD is, what is fixed, include and exclude. These are the things that mainly the person asks. So we will go in detail for each level of detail, what fixed does, what include does, what exclude does. We'll go all step by step. Okay. Any question here?
No, sir.
Okay. So arithmetic operator is similar in like in Python or SQL. Plus for addition, minus for subtraction, division, percentage for taking modular, which gives us the remainder, sorry, and this sign is to take exponential. Suppose 2 to the power 3, if you want to do 2 into 2 into 2, then we need to give 2 this exp power 3, then it does the multiplication. So this is my modular division. For example, if I want to divide 100 by, let's say, 5, so what would be my modular? 100 divided by 5, 5 to 10, it will be 20, right? 5 times 20 give 100. So my modular percentage will be 0. So if we give 100 percentage 5, this will give me 0 result. So this is my modular operator. If I give div of 100 comma 5, then this will give 20. So whatever the whole number we have. So this is my div, which gives me the dividend. And if I do percentage, this will give me percentage, this will give me the remainder remainder. So we will look all this in more detail.
So whatever the remainder is our modular division. You mean to say?
Sorry.
Like the modular division is the value that we have in remainder, or
Yeah, so this is if we give modular division, that means whatever we have in remainder. So yeah, if we give div, so whatever we have in dividend.
so how
That
we
means,
use it, like in how we use this value in real.
yeah, I will explain that. I have examples.
Okay.
So in Tableau, if we need to do uh, if you need to do multiplication, for example, this is my customer data set, the one we used in Superstore, the one we prepared dashboard. So this is the same data set. So here we have information about product category, the price of product, and quantity. Suppose if we want to do a multiplication of quantity and price, so that we can have total items, like what's the price of my total item. So what we can do is we can create a calculate field. From here we can go analysis, create calculate field. This is one option. We can also go from here, create calculate field. This is the second option. We can use any. So let's say if you want to do, I want to create a calculate field, total items. If I want to do a multiplication, I can do quantity times price. So this is my calculated field, and I can drag and drop this information here. So this gives me the total item, total cost of my item. It's just a multiplication of quantity times price. So in case if you want to edit this information, you can even go in the analysis, edit total item here. So we can update our information if you want. Also, if you want to delete, simply we can right click here and we can delete if you want. So this is one way of creating calculator field. Also, what we can do is, let's delete this first. We can even add a calculation here. Simply what we can do is double click here, and we can simply do quantity quantity times price. We can simply add our logic here. Quantity time. So you can see your column name should always be in square bracket. So this is my capital. Yep. So here we can see we can use aggregate. We can simply add our calculation here. Likewise, we can even do calculation over here if we want to do sum of quality quality times price. So we can add our information here. But one thing is, if we add information here, if we remove this information, it stays over here with a particular name. We can give that particular name. So this would be my total item purchased, let's say. So you can give that name here. So in this way you can do manipulation, automatic manipulation. Okay. So and then, so likewise we can even add something. You can simply do plus minus. You can do a sum and divide by count. You can try this on your own if you want. And then we have a comparison operator like equal equals, double equals, or single equal. Test for equality. Greater than or equals is this is clear. Like if you want to compare my total cost and budget, then we can give this sign if total sum is greater than equal to my budget or not. Likewise, we can give not equals or not equal sign. For logical operator, we have and or or. So and means if both condition is satisfied or not. For example, so here the and means if my revenue is greater than equals to 500 and cost is greater than equals to 30, then so this my if my revenue is greater than 500 and cost is greater than equals to 30, then populate over as populate under. So this and means both conditions should satisfy, right? Likewise, all operator means anyone. Here means both conditions needs to be satisfied. Both condition needs to be satisfied. Here any one condition condition needs to be satisfied. And not means all conditions are false. So if we give not revenue greater than equals to 500 and cost is greater than equals to 10, this means anything that if my revenue is greater than 500, exclude everything for the cases where my revenue is greater than 500 and cost is greater than 10, right? So after excluding everything for cases where revenue is greater than 500 and cost is greater than 10, populate over as populate under. So not means to exclude. All conditions are false. Likewise, we have aggregate. Likewise, what we can do in Tableau, like we can use this aggregated field like some mean, max, average, median, percentile, variance, even standard deviation. We can calculate all these fields in Tableau. So let's do an example here. Suppose I have my some values. So if you want to take sum of my total cost, let's say, so here we can take sum. If you want to take average, then here we can change my sum to average and can move this to text. So one way here we can say the first one is total cost and second one is the average of total cost. Likewise, let's include one more. So sum is already there, that's why it's not showing.
So what we're going to do here?
So I'm showing you like how we can take sum, average, mean, median, mode, what we can the aggregate function, how we can use this aggregate function.
So in this one as well, we need to put the formula under the calculation field.
No, because here we have the feature. If you do a right click, here you can take either
Okay.
sum, average, mean, median, mode. You can even create a calculator field if you want. So let's create one calculator field. And I'll go here. So if I want percentile, suppose percentile of total cost. So I want my total cost percentile. So we have percentile function and total cost. So I want 70 percentile of my total cost. So we have studied percentile, right? So percentile is like quartile is for we have three quartiles, right? Q1, Q2, Q3. So percentile means for first percentile means my quartile is 25%. So we have three quartiles. We have already discussed this, right? Here quartile we have Q1. This is my first quartile. Q2. This is my second quartile. Q3. So my first quartile is means 25%. This is 25 percentile. My second quartile is 50 percentile, and my third quartile is 75 75 percentile. Right. So we discussed we did a box plot and we studied that our second quartile is median. Remember we did a box plot.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember.
So we did a box plot. So this was my box plot. This was my Q1, Q2, Q3. So this Q1 is 25th percentile. This is 50th percentile. This is 75th percentile. Right? So Q2 was my median. This was my median. So if you want to calculate 70th percentile, let's say in Tableau, so this is how we calculate 70th percentile. And click OK. So this is my percentile, 70th percentile. So 70th percentile of, so if you want to convert this in columns, I'm going so okay, so this is my second percentile. So let me increase the length. So this is my second, this is my 70th percentile. So what we can do, we can even add a range. So right now we hard coded our value here to 70%. What we did, we hard coded value here as 70%. If you want to make this 70 as my parameter, what we can do is create parameter. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this a range from, because my percentage is always from 1 to 100. So I'm trying to make this a range so that I can change that range and calculate my percentile, so that I'm making that that as a parameter. So my in percentage, my parameter will start from 0.1 and my maximum value will be 1. Like 0.1 means like if you multiply this by 100, 0.01, then that means 1. If you multiply this by 100, that will start with 1 and end with 1. So if you multiply this by 100, so your minimum value will be 1. If you multiply this by 100, your minimum value will be, maximum value will be 100. So my step will be 0.01. So here I have created a parameter by, so this parameter here you can see my range, right? So I will add this parameter in my calculated field. So if I add here the percentage parameter lie, so right now this percentile is changing because it's showing up the percentile of 0.62. If I do 0.7, this will show me the same result that we need to for. So this is how we can add a parameter. If you want to change our information on the basis of this parameter, we can see the changes of the percentile here. Okay, so any question here? Why I created a parameter is because so that I can do a slider here and can change my percentile instead of doing a hard code value of adding 0.7 in this field. I have created this a parameter so that I can pass minimum maximum value through this parameter and can do a slider here. So whatever if I want to see my percentile for 0.5, the numbers will change in my table. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is how this is. So in this way we can do sum, mean, max, average, median, percentile, even variance we can calculate. If you want to calculate variance, then variance we have var, and then we can pass my total cost. So here we have added variance. Okay. So yeah, we can add variance, standard deviation. So these are my functions I have added here. So you can refer this and can change. So likewise, you can add count, even count and count distinct. You can even add. For example, if I want to, so my count is always total number of records. So if I give total number of records, this is my count. Even if you want to confirm that whether this is my count or not, so yeah. So total number of records, this is my count. Even you can create a calculate field here. That's it. And we can even pass count. And if we keep, let's say, count of order ID, and even if we pass this count here, the count is same, right? You can see number. So this is my number of, so number of records and count both are same. So if I want to take distinct count, suppose for example, here if we drag and drop my product name, let's say here you can see these are my product name and these are my category. One thing more we can do is we can even concat my information. So if you want to have these two information in one field, we can even add a formula here. We can even add a formula like product category. We can do plus, then space, then plus product name. If we do enter, so here we can see the information is added. So if you want to remove this two information, and if you want to have the information in one field, you can even do over here. So here we can see lots of product name, product category is repeated so many times. So if you want to look for distinct product category, what we can do is we can create a calculator field, um, distinct product category. If you want to check, we can do count D. This will give me distinct product category. Product category. Yeah. So if I add this here, so my distinct category that right now is one. So if I remove this and add, so here we can see my count is one. So count distinct gives me the distinct count, and if I do only count, that will give me total number of record count, and count D will give me distinct count. Count to count all values, count D to count distinct values. So another thing is attribute. Using attribute, what we can do is, so let's see an example of attribute. So that till now what we did all arithmetic calculation plus addition, multiplication and all. Then we look for sum, average, mean, max, count, percentile, variance. Now the use of attribute is, let's say, so let's say if you want to see your project completion date here. Okay, so if you drag and drop this information here, you'll see the information either in year or quarter or monthly basis, right? But if you want to have your date here, what you can do is right click here and you can see an option of attribute. If you use attribute, this will convert your date in particular date. So this client has a project completion on this date. This ABLD, this ERM has project completion date of this. So if you do an attribute, this will give you a complete date instead of showing as year, month, or quarterly basis. So that's the use of attribute. It display complete date for a value instead of showing yearly, monthly, or weekly basis. So we can do lot more things, like we can take absolute, we can do sign, round, ceiling, floor, div, modulus, square, sqrt, min, max. Okay, so let's look at over that. So here I have, so I have here I have category name and the actual spend and target spend. So actually it was the cost of this category furnishing was this much, but the target spend was this much. Now if you want to do a subtraction of actual minus target minus actual, and we want to round off to positive value. So what we can do is, suppose if we do a, if you want to check balance, so your balance will be target minus actual. So if you add here, so your remaining net amount is this much, but you want to show this amount always as positive. If you want to show this result as positive, what you can do is, you can add here abs. Abs means absolute value. So absolute value will always give you a result in positive. So if you have a value in negative, it will convert that to positive. What we can do is, we can even give a sign function. So if we give a sign function here, what this does is, it gives you an indicator, like this says, this gives you a negative result, this gives a positive result, right? So we can even add that to our color to denote that these are my negative results, these are my positive results. So we can use sign even, and can remove this balance, and can see which are your negative result, which are the positive result, by using sign function. Likewise, we can use round, ceiling, floor to convert your number in. So if you want to round off your number, you can use round. If you want to round off to nearest whole number, you can, like if your value is something 8.5, then if you do a ceiling, then that will be your, I think, 9, and if you use a floor, that will be your 8. So it will round off to +1 or -1. You can try this on your own. Let's go in division. So for example, let's say, so this client, for this client, total rooms needed was this much, and block size was this much. So here we want to calculate how many blocks are remaining. If you want to calculate how many blocks are remaining, what we need to do is simply, we need to divide this by this, right? So this is my total room, and this is my block size. So how many block that is occupied by this particular room? If we need to find, what we need to do, we need to use a so block occupied. So if we use a div here, if we give a needed comma block size, so this what this does is it divides the number and convert that number to nearest whole number. So if we do a division, say 149 divided by 12, so it's 12.41, but this converts, this does a round off to 12. So if you want to see the remainder, like I said, I showed you. So if you want to see the remainder of this dividend this by this, what we can do is we can add a modulus here. So here from occupied percentage block size. So how many are remaining? If you want to check, so these are your remaining blocks, right? So these are your remaining blocks. So here you can see the use of modulus and dividend. So likewise we can do square, sqrt, and min max. So we can even compare two field. So if you want to find maximum of this two field, what we can do is get a calculator field. So comparator values. Let's say I give a name comparator values. If you want to compare two field, you can even give max of room occupied, comma block size. If you give this, it will give you a result. You compare two field and it will give you the max value. So greater values, if you can see greater value is this. So max even compared to two values, even one values or one value is column wise, or two values, one values row wise and or two values column wise. It compares man or max or min. Okay. Any question?
I'm not doing it. I'm just watching. I don't know. Once I'll do how it goes.
So yeah, so this is being recorded, right? Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, this is being recorded. So yeah, uh, try to do by yourself, and if you have any question, then I will help you out. So this is how we take modulus and div, and then so we even if you want to handle a missing value in our data, for example, if you want to handle null cases, so here you can see two blank case here. So for this client, for MFSTINBD, the block size and calculated block is missing. So if you want to populate some value here, if you want to populate blank to 0, what we can do is we can go and add it, and then we can give you a ZN. ZN, what it does is if the field is blank, then it automatically populates 0. So you can see here zero is being added, right? So zn converts your blank value to zero. So if we can even specify, so zn converts your blank value to zero. So you can even specify if null, if this field is null, then we can even give, like we can even specify comma zero. So if null also works here in the same way, right? We can even give if null. We can even give a condition even. So this is if null. We can even give is null. Is null will also check if this value is null or not. So I can do if this value is null, then zero, else populate this as is.
So if spelling is if we put double F.
Yeah, so the syntax for if is, so if IIF, sorry, IIF bracket, if you see, so it gives you like test, then else. So if you can give anything here, if right now what I was trying to do is null, is null bracket, if my dividend of room needed and block size, so if this is null, then I was trying to give this as zero, else populate whatever we have in this field. And I was trying to close like that. Okay. So this works similarly like we do in Excel. And even in Excel, even it works the same. Uh, in Excel, if we give equals if, the syntax is logical value, logical test. If logical test is true, then true or false. Similar way in the similar if is equivalent in Tableau, but the difference is when to give double I here. So what this syntax does is it checks if this value is null or not. If this value is null, then zero, else populate whatever we have in this value, right? So this will give you the same result. So three way of manipulating null cases, right? So three ways of handling null in Tableau. First one is ZN. If you use ZN, then converts blank to zero. If null, we need to specify something. So if you can give if null bracket field name, then comma, if you want to convert this null value to 25 or 0 or 1, we can specify that over here. And third one is to check in a condition, in a loop, in a not in a loop, in a if else, in if else block. If you can use is null to check and assign value for null case. So this is very important because as a data analyst, you often deal with handling how to you often deal with missing value null cases in your data. This is the most common thing that you data analyst always face in day-to-day work. That is to handle null value. So this is also one of the interview questions: how to handle null value in Tableau.
So, sir, if there is null value, so we have to put any value, for example, zero or something, or
Or it depends. It's not like we used to. We need to give zero or something. It depends upon your requirement, like what the client is, what client needs. It depends upon his need. So here in my case, in this case, if the client does not worry about the block size, like he doesn't care about block size,
Mhm.
then we don't need to do it either zero or something any as. We can leave this as blank. Null. What if he doesn't care? Then what we can do is we can hard code that to zero, because zero or no, or null both specify same thing, right? So why we why we do null as zero is because in any manipulation we do, if we take a count or any manipulation we do, what happens is this null is always ignored. So whatever query we write or whatever report we generate, the null is always ignored. So that the null is never ignored, we populate that as zero, so that it takes this value even, this client information even. So if we don't do as this as zero and leave this as none, so while generating reports or while doing any join condition, even in left join or right join, if you do on basis of block size, if we have null value there, then the join will not work. Join will not check whether your null is equals to null or not. Join null case will not work. This will not work. This null, in order to take this into account, we convert this either to zero or some specific value. Or if the client doesn't care about, like he doesn't know, he doesn't want this information, then we can leave this as is. So that any manipulation we do, even if we do a join or prepare any report, or this two information will never be included and will never be shown to the application. So that's fine. But if this information is needed, then we need to hard code or populate some other value like zero, or we can even do 999, some random value to distinguish this client as missing client, right? So this client has missing information. So it depends upon requirement what we want to do. Okay. Also it makes sense, what if we have null cases like this, what we can do is, one way is we hard code this value as zero, right? And other ways what we can do is we can even take mean. So whatever the value we have in neighbors, so this is invt is zero, so whatever value we have in neighbor, like in his client is whatever the value we have in its corresponding neighbor, for example erm or lap. So we look at its corresponding neighbor and we fill up this information looking at its corresponding neighbor. That is also one way of imputing the missing value. Another way is we can even take the mean of all remaining values. We can take mean and impute that mean to our missing data, like blank cases. So we have several ways of manipulating missing values in our data. So we will discuss that even today, several ways of manipulating missing values in our data. So yeah, so in tableau these are my three ways. Yeah, we can even do mean if you want. So here in if and if else condition we did 0, right? We can even can do here mean bracket that field name. We can specify that field name, or average, or median if you want. Median you can specify here. Okay, any question?
No, good.
Okay, so working with time and date. So if we use now or today, this will give you the current date. So
So this Tableau sheets that you're working on, did you upload this one in GitHub?
yeah, yeah, it's there.
In which
uh
week?
in week 5 it's there. In week 5 is
There are all PPT slides.
no, these are the files. .twb, these are all files.
Okay.
Dot, okay. So right now I am opening 07 underscore add date.
Uh,
So here if you want to check your proposal required on basis of your today's date, if you want to check the difference, what you can do is, if you want to check how many days it has been based on your current date. So what you can do is now minus proposal date. If you do and if you apply, see here. So it's like this will give you the result in day.
Excuse me,
So
sir. Uh, After opening that file, I did like I copied that data, the raw data. So in can I paste that in the same sheet that I have, like the KPI dashboard Tableau? How can I open in a new Tableau? I mean,
if you download this file, this one, and you can simply open this file even. Simply download this file and open this file.
I did.
So what did you get?
I just got the the file like
Yeah, what it says, like it throws an error.
no, saying like the raw and blame. There is no
Yeah,
download.
there might be this file might be missing. They might you also need to include this file even.
So how that's the thing I'm saying. Like, how can I import this
So
to?
you can simply download this folder. Simply download week 5 folder. Can you download this folder at once?
I'll try week 5 folder.
Yeah.
Nah, it's saying only open the link in new tab and all.
Hmm. Uh,
So that's the point. Like, if I want to practice, so how can I transfer all the data in a new Tableau sheet or database? My question is this.
so you need to download all these files. All these files you need to download. So these all files need to be in one folder. So here my folder is week 5.
Mhm.
So all this information needs to be in one folder, and then you can practice.
Then how did you start in that? How you came on Tableau like after
So
that one?
okay, let me do for you. Like if I download this,
Yeah, I'm getting the same.
So you did this like go in raw and then
Save as.
yeah save as and then open this file.
Okay. So after saving, what you did?
So so here is my file. So this is
Mhm.
index. This is the file, right? So it's in my download. So once you open this file, once you click here, so it will show something error like this, like your current date.xls file is missing. Does it show the same error?
No, so I'm after the. I can't still even open the file.
Okay, uh you can share your screen. Let's see what's happening. Allowing your, yeah. Can you share your
Because
screen?
later on, if I was just saying like if I'll practice, then how can I
Yeah.
practice like?
Okay, you can share your screen.
Okay, just hang on. Mm,
You should have this option here, share screen.
just hang on. You see the screen?
Yeah. So yeah, it's been saved as dot txt. No, this is not the file. Like, do from the start. Close this screen.
Okay.
So you have closed your share screen.
Yeah, because I closed that screen. So I'm on the same file and I'm converting into raw. On the raw, I'm again right click and save as. I'm saving on my desktop. So I have to save as in the txt or what?
No. So if you do save as,
Mm-hmm.
then you should have this option like Tableau workbook save as type. You should have this Tableau workbook here.
Yeah, it is there, Tableau workbook, but after that there is txt as well. So should I remove
Yeah,
txt?
yeah, yeah. Remove that txt. Yeah.
Okay.
Dot, even remove that dot txt, remove.
Okay.
Okay. Now
So
you,
you have used the extension TW at the end of the name. The standard extension is txt. Okay, so you use twb. Okay.
can do dot twd.
Mm, the okay, it's showing the warning. The workbook will be upgraded from version
Yeah,
this.
yeah, you can click OK. You can click OK, and then it will show.
It's saying could not find the reference file C users and all.
Yeah, yeah, that file. Yeah, that you need to download that file. It
So
says like one file is missing. It will say.
yeah, replace
Uh,
it with another file. It's saying
yeah, which file is missing? It says current date
could
file
not
is
find
missing.
the referenced file C.
Yeah,
User desktop exercise files chapter 3
yeah.
conference Excel
Which one? Conference. Yeah. So you need to download this file, conference.xls.
XLSS. So is that saying again in the GitHub?
Yeah, yeah. It's there in GitHub.
So there is an option like replace it with another file. So should I do yes or no?
You should do no, do no,
Okay.
and then you will see here in GitHub, you will have this file like, yeah, in week 5, you will have this conference.xlsx.
Conference Excel. Okay.
and then you need to then download this file,
Mm-hmm.
and then create a folder, and inside folder keep both your Tableau file and this file even.
So I have to download conference.xlsx and current date as well. Both.
Yeah,
You
okay. Yeah,
okay?
you can download both and put keep all the file in one folder. This two file and the Tableau file you have downloaded. Keep all
Okay.
that in one folder, and then try to open.
Yes, we're taking bit long.
It should work.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay. So yeah, I've uploaded.
Yeah, it's working.
I've uploaded only one, the other one, the conference.xlsx.
Yeah, now try to open this file, this Tableau. It should be in one folder.
It was in one folder, but at a time I could not open the like transfer both files. So again, like in the same one, how can I upload another file in this one?
So download that file, another file, and then copy that file to one folder, the one you are.
Yeah, so I already did that.
Okay, now.
If I copy, okay, now here, how to paste here?
So it should be inside that folder. Okay, you can share your screen. Let me see. You can share your screen.
Give me a second. So you want me to show you the like where
Yeah,
files or the Tableau one?
you can share your screen. I will see what you are doing.
Okay. Mm, sorry, give me a second.
Okay, so where is your file?
It's there. I save here.
Yeah. Here even you need to copy your main Tableau file here.
Tableau file here.
Yeah. Dot. Yeah.
I think it's not here,
Yeah,
and
it's there.
I
It's
have
not.
to save it. You will not be able to open this document with another version of Tableau.
Yes. Yeah, you can do this.
Yeah, it's here now.
Yeah, now you can open that file. Open. Okay. Click OK. Skip this one. Need to skip. I have to skip that.
I did skip. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, now it's working. Yeah, it's working.
So there is only one file showing in this one, I think. The that's the division as well. But I think here there is no file, and this one is which I already uploaded. This one, the conference XLS in this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why. Yeah, that's why it's showing up this file.
Okay, so how can I upload the both files in the same, like these two both? Can we do that as well? Like both files in one?
One.
Yeah, but like in Tableau, like in division Tableau, can I open these two at a time or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. You can, but right now let's not do that because
Okay,
right now, yeah,
that's what I was saying, like because I already did that.
yeah. You can open as many files you want. But
Okay.
right now, let's not do that. We will discuss that later. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were working on this called add dates.
Hmm.
So try to download this file and the corresponding Excel file, and then you can work in this one the same way like you did for division. So do you want to do this right now, or
Like again, you mean to say I have to download a file or something?
because right now you download division file, right? So we are working on add dates.
I got
Add
already
dates.
dates as well, but that's in my. I did not upload on Tableau.
Yeah, you need to upload that in Tableau.
But that's the thing I was saying. Like, how can I?
So download this file underscore 07 underscore add dates.twb. So from GitHub here, from this week file, download this file 07 underscore add. So did you download this file? You have downloaded 05 underscore division.
Add dates I did.
Okay. So yeah, try to open this file. So it's not working.
So I'm doing. Hang on, just give me a second.
Okay, now it is.
Should be working. Hopefully, yeah, it's working now.
So you can add. So if you want to check your proposal date based on today's date, you can go in edit and you can do now minus proposed date. If you do this, this will give you the days remaining, like till today's date. Like it will do 2021 March 29, April 29 minus the proposed date. These are all in dates, in days. So likewise, we can extract day, month, year in calculated field. If you want to extract month, then you can give month bracket month of proposal required. If you do, if you pull and drop this here,
Sir, how did you get the sum of current date and month here?
so okay, let me do from scratch. So I have created a calculated field.
Mm-hmm.
Inside calculated field, I have given my logic like now minus proposal required. This will give you, this will subtract and give you the value in days. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then what you need to do is to pull this date in text, okay, or you can drag and drop here inside your where you want where you want to show your value. If you paste
But in
here,
my it's showing error when I did that. Like
what's the error?
the calculation contains error.
Yeah,
Proposal
you might,
required.
yeah, you might have done some syntax issue. So this should be in double bracket.
Which one?
Now double bracket.
Yeah, now I did the same as you, and then in the square bracket proposal required.
And here it shows the calculation is valid. It shows
Yeah.
this result.
Hang on. Should be okay. Should be okay because I think that's the alphabets. Okay, now it's fine.
So you
Working.
can drag and drop here. Okay,
Okay.
it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, okay, good news. And yeah, then in similar way, we can even, if you want to extract year, then we can give like year bracket proposal required. This will give you money year, and if you press this over here, this will give you an year. So right now, if you see in year, your value is in comma format here. So are you trying this with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to convert this in that, right now you see your year in comma dot zero. So if you want to format this value, what you can do is you can go in format option. You can choose from fields. You can choose sum of years, and from here you can do formatting. To remove decimal places, remove 1000. Okay, now you can see your formatting is clean. Okay, so this is how we can extract year, month, date, and okay. Now what if now if you want to add or or you want to see the date for last week or for 2 months later, what's your date? So you can use the date part feature here. So date part feature, what it does, it gives you value in either year, quarter, month, day of year, day, weekday. So you can choose any, and you can and do a date part even. So let's try to do a date part.
So I'm dragging the ear, but it's not showing like you. Mine is a bit different.
What's the result?
Can I share my screen if you don't mind?
Okay.
Here we go.
So this is your in detail one. So you can see you need to drag your ear, sum of ear
So
in
ear
text. Should be in text. Drag that in text.
here,
Yeah, down, down. Not there.
like
In
down.
ABC. In ABC.
Um,
Drag that in ABC. Drag that in ABC. Yeah, yeah, there. Down. No. Yeah, yeah, there. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not.
So it's went. So create once again. Create once again.
This is ear. So if I drag it here,
Yeah, yeah. Now.
So it goes here like
Uh,
major name here.
mm,
It shows like this sometimes.
you can give me your access. Mm, So yeah, do once again. So right click on ear. So go and edit. What's there in here? Mm,
I think the command is same.
so go and do a right click in ear. Yeah, there. Yeah, edit. Don't say anything. So create a calculate field once again.
Okay. So is the same with ear?
You can give another name. I can't see your screen of calculator field. Yeah, okay, I can see.
Is
Yeah,
it,
do no, I can't see your screen.
that might be because I'm sharing another one.
Yeah, oh, create one. Yeah, create that. That's why I was not saying your this one screen. Can you share your full screen to me? Yeah, yeah. Now I can see. Yeah.
Okay.
Right ear
Yeah.
bracket, open bracket. It should be not this one. So your ear is your function. Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
so why will not be capital?
no, no capital.
Yeah, yeah. That there you saw, yeah, down. Yeah, yeah, there. Yeah, click that. Click, yeah, click that. Yeah. Year bracket date. Click that.
I'm doing it actually.
Yeah, yeah. Inside the bracket. Yeah. Now give proposal date. Now write proposal. Yeah.
Proposal required.
Yeah, required. Yeah. Now close. Okay.
Yeah.
Now drag and drop. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Drag and
Drag.
drop in the major value.
Yeah.
ABC.
Yeah. Yeah. In ABC.
No,
Okay.
it came on
So
here.
yeah, remove that filter and remove your measure name. In columns you see their measure names in op in
Okay.
columns. Yeah, remove that. Okay, now try to drag and drop here. Yeah,
Okay.
I can say. So measure it was showing up. It should not be inside measure.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So major name, but why it was not showing under? Because your even title was showing its year. In mine, it's not even showing year.
So you need to give your title name. You gave it year one, right? So if you give your title as year, it will show up as year. So whatever you give your title name, it will show up there.
Mhm.
Now try to drag and drop your year field. Remove that year one and there was year field even, right? Try
Yeah.
to drag and drop that. It will show you year.
Yeah, it's showing now.
Okay. So whatever name you create on basis of your calculator field, that will come up here.
Okay.
Yeah. So so we have date part function here. What date part does is it adds on basis of year wise or month wise or quarter wise, whatever we want. So let's create a date part function. Edit. So date part, you can see so much date here. Is the date part. Now what you want to do in date part is I want to add on yearly basis. I want to look for yearly basis and give year, comma, your date. So my date is proposal date. This will show me on yearly basis. If I want to see in weekly basis, I can change here and I can write here week, week. This will show me on weekly basis. Okay. So this is my 11th week. You can see here in current date, this is my 11th week, weekdays. This is my 11th week. So we can specify inside date part, we can specify whatever we want. We want even in hours, minute or second, we can specify in date part. And we can even use date name. So what date name does is, if we use date name bracket, see if I use here month, comma, proposal required, drag and drop my name. So it will show you your month, which month it is, in name format. Like instead of showing in number, Jan for 1, Feb for 2, it will show you in this name format, April, March. So date name does that. We can even do date add to add your specific weeks. For example, if you want to add, if you want to increment your this date, so it was 13th of March. If you want to increase your third week to fifth week, you can specify in date add. So if you want to increase your date, so you can do date add and interval. Let's say I want to increase my week by 2 interval. Let's say 2, and I can specify my proposal date. This will increase your date by 2 weeks. If you do date add, and again this is showing up in year. If we change this to attribute, this will add up your week 3 to 27, 3 weeks it has added. So you can even add, you can even subtract. And also we have date trunc field here. This will truncate your value to truncate date for a specific period. For example, if you want to truncate a date that is in the middle of the month at the month level, and if you want to return your first day of the month, suppose if you are in middle of the month, for example, I am in right now, I am in, so it's 29th April. So if I want to, if I want to take the first of my month, I want to, if it's April, I want first April. If it's Feb, I want first Feb. For that we can use date trunc. It truncates your value and gives you the first day of that month. So first day of my April month is 01, so it gives you this date 01. If it was Feb, it gives you 01 of March, 01 of Feb, first day of the month. It will give you date trunc, will give you first day of the month. So you can use this function, you can play with it. Okay, that's date add, date diff, date trunc. You can check. And then we have conditional calculation, like
All the commands like date, add, and all, is that in the PPT slides, the formulas that you're entering there?
I have shared my screen, so you can see my PPT slides. It's
Yeah,
not
I
visible.
mean it's visible. I mean like when I'll download it, so the all the
Yeah,
commands,
yeah, yeah. It's there
is
inside
that
PPT. Yeah, it's inside the PPT. Yeah.
even the command, the formulas that you entering
The formula, like which formula? Syntax? For
in the
syntax,
syntax when you're doing the calculation field, you adding like how to set the date and date add and all such things.
yeah. So this is recorded. You can view the recorded session.
Okay, so we have to see the recording. It's not in the file.
Yeah.
I mean to say.
No, like the syntax, the function name is there, but how to use that function name? You can even if you simply look for function name. For example, if you want to look date name, so if you simply go date name, if you do date name, if you start with bracket here, you will see the syntax. So it needs to be date part, then date, then start of your week. So here you can see your syntax. It will show you the syntax. But still, if you still have confusion, then
Mm.
you can see my recording. If that is also not making sense, then you can Google the syntax, even like date name in Tableau. If you do, so it will show you the syntax. So how to calculate the name of the day, if you do. So it will say you like what you need to do, like weekday you need to give. This will give you Thursday if you use weekday. Yeah. So this is working with time and date. So likewise we can use if else condition in Tableau the similar way, like we do in Excel or in Python. If else we apply if else, we can use the same. So let's say this is my file. So this is my order ID and this is my total total, like total sum of this particular order ID. So if I want to apply some logic here, so let's say if the order ID is greater than 300, then give like 10% discount. Like it should be multiplication of, give 10% discount. It means like it should be 330. If my order ID, if my amount of total is less than 300, then give like 1% discount. If it's greater than 900, give 5% discount. So we can even give by if and else condition for this particular data loop. So how I can give is, let's say if condition IIF bracket. So here test. So here if I want to give my, if my sum of order total is greater than equals to 300, then I want to give like let's say 1% discount. Then give times 0.1 multiplied by 0.01. Else I don't want to do anything. Then else I will leave this as is. So here you will see one error. If we close this bracket, then your calculation is valid. So here what I did. So if my total order is greater than 300, then I did my total order will be 1% increment times 1%, 0.01. If it is not, then leave this value as is. So this is a simple if that I have applied here. Yeah. So let's, if I
Can
execute
we give
this,
any value like we given 0.1? So can we give any value in place
Yeah,
of
we can. Yeah, we can do any multiplication 0.5 or 0.8. We can even do. Yeah, we can do anything. Yeah.
why? Excuse me. So why we do giving this value? Are we giving a condition? That's why we giving the value. Or
This one. So what I'm trying to do is, if my order total is, if my value here is greater than 300, then increments my total with some value. Simple condition I am giving here. If my order total is greater than 300, then simply increment it with 1%.
okay,
Else don't do anything. I'm simply doing that.
okay.
Okay? So this is an example of showing how we can use if statement. It's nothing. You can do anything you want. So here you can see. So greater than 300 is 3%. 0.01 is 3, right? So if you, so here you can see this value is same. 85 is 85. So if it's greater than 300, then we are incrementing it by 3, right? 300 times 0.01, which is 3. Else we have return value as is. So so if you want to apply multiple condition, so multiple conditions, say if it's greater than 500, then do this. If it is greater than 700, then do this. For that, what we can do is, instead of, because this supports only one if and else, if you want to apply multiple if else, what we can do is, we can use if sum of my order total is greater than, suppose 800, then increment by my sum of this by 0.09. Okay? And if I want to give another condition, then else if my this value is greater than 300, then increment it with 0.01. Else leave this as is and then end. So here what I did is, I have applied multiple condition. So to apply multiple condition, this is my first condition. To apply a multiple condition, we need to give else if this condition, if this condition, and if this else if condition is also not met, then simply do sum of order total.
Usually else condition we give, we don't use if with else. Like it's only else. So only in W we use else if.
No, else if is common in every language, in Python even. Else if, what it does is, if this condition is not satisfied, right? If this
Yeah.
condition,
Because in the Python, I think there is condition like if and else. The else if is like for the first time I'm having, yeah.
so if you want to give multiple condition, if your first condition is not true, if then you go in second condition. Okay, if your
uh,
second condition is not true, then go in
right.
else.
Okay.
So in Python, even the syntax is same.
Okay.
If then else, if you need to give multiple condition.
I think the syntax is, these are all repeating in Python, SQL, and even the tab.
Yeah, yeah, everything. We are doing everything, everything. The main workflow is same, just
Yeah.
we are, the syntax is different, and the language is different. We are doing same thing in every, like in Excel even we did, right?
Yeah,
So
in
we,
Excel we did as well.
yeah, so in Excel we did, in Python we did, in SQL we did. So we are repeating same thing but in different platforms, you can say.
Yeah.
So just making you familiar with all the platforms.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it is not necessary to like remember everything, just you need to have a basic concept in your mind. right? So
Yeah.
here, so we can even use two ifs. Okay, so here why I use else if is because if this condition is not satisfied, then only go in this condition. We can even use here one if even, not in, I think it doesn't work in W. Let me check. Yeah, we need to give else if, but in Python we can give to if condition even. If this is, then do this. If this, then do this. If both conditions not satisfied, then go in else if. Okay? So this is one syntax. This is the syntax. If you need to check multiple condition, we can give if and then else if. Okay. So yeah, this is will also work. And then the third one is which the most data analysts do is using case statement. Like for example, so here if I want to convert my furnishings into 0, maintenance into 1, housekeeping into 2, and public areas into 3, then we can simply create a calculated field with case statement. What does this mean? Case product category. So when this is the one syntax, when furnishing, then 1, when maintenance, then 2, when housekeeping, then 3, in public areas, then 4, else 5, and end. So this is one syntax. We can use case statement, and we can give the condition like when this and this, this and this, this and this. We can simply, if we can use if even here, if this is equals to this, then this, else if this, and then give if else here. But this is the most usually data analysts usually write condition using case statement like this. So this will also give you, this will convert your value into 0 and 1. So if I put it this here, so this was my 1, this was my 2, this was my 3, right? So we saw three ways of writing if and else in Tableau. Okay. So okay. So missing, for missing value, I have already shown you using is null and if null. Okay. And the last one is, this one is a bit complicated. This one is not easy to understand. A level of detail. So suppose for example, so this is my total order, based on city. So what I need to do now is, so I want to subtract my total order with average value. For example, this is my order total. If I want to subtract this with average of order total, yeah, So here we can see, here it says cannot mix aggregate and non-aggregate parameters arguments with this function. So for this to work, we need to use level of details, which is this bracket, curly bracket. Curly bracket, if we use curly bracket means we are using level of detail. Okay. So if we give here curly bracket, then this will work. This will subtract my order total with average of order total. So if I do okay right here, so this three dot means this is detail, right? So here you see this value is in text. So this right now this is in detail. So we need to move this to text. Okay. So this needs to be in text. That's why we need to move this into text. So here we can see T, right? So this means this is in text. So this is showing right below. So in order to make this in a separate column, what we can choose here this first one. This will give me the first column. This will separate my value into column. So what this does is it subtract from average. So what was my formula here? So order total minus average subtracts value from taking average of order total. So to use aggregate function here, we have used aggregate function avg. So we need to make sure we have used the
So
curly bracket.
in this command, like minus the average of order total, what's the output? What we getting like in the calculation order?
So what this does, it takes an average of this field order total, right? Takes an average of order total and then do a minus with order total. So let's say if we want to check the average. Or we can, so
Yeah.
so so right now my total is on basis of sum is $35 here, right?
Mhm.
35. So if we take average, the average is also 35.
But so in the previous formula, in the added one, you like enter the formula like minus the average order from the total order. I
Yeah.
mean, say what's the outcome? What we getting after giving this command? Like why we
So
yeah,
so
why we subtracting the average from order?
so this gives you result like this. Like for example, so suppose if your order total is something like this 100, 10, 20, 30, right? And your average is average of order total is something, then this is VG of this average of this value. It's the average. So average is 20. We know that average is 20, right?
Mm.
So 20, 20, 20. So what this formula does is this, it does this minus this. That is remaining minus 10. 0, 10. So this, it gives you this result. This calculation gives you
I
this
know
result.
with this result, but what it is known as, like what do we call that result? I mean to say, for example, when we subtract something, we get remaining of something, so that's our profit. For example, from the gross profit, if we subtract all the expenses, so this is our net profit. So I mean to say, like from the order total, if we subtract the average of our total, what we are getting in return, like the how what is called.
Hmm, you can say like you can say sep- separation from mean, you can say, because you're subtracting value from your average. So it's like you can say separation from mean, you can say.
So
Hmm.
then, sir, what will be the purpose of this one?
Yeah.
So purpose of this
So,
formula is nothing. It's like how you want to use average. If you want to, use aggregate function, and if you want to subtract with your aggregate function, how you will do subtraction. This is the main purpose, to use the aggregate function. And if you want to subtract your aggregate function like average sum with your main field, how you will do the subtraction. That's the main purpose. So for example, if you want to calculate a jd score, okay? So if you want to calculate a jd score, jd is always your x minus average of x divided by standard deviation, right? So here what you did a subtraction with your mean, right? So in order to do that, in order to implement that in tableau, so suppose your x is your order total, what you will do, your order total minus, you need to do subtract average age. So this would be your one formula, and then you will divide it by, so this will be your one formula, and here you will divide this by standard deviation, STD of this field. Here again it says you cannot mix. It's not, this is not allowed. So we need to create another set and another calculate field, and then do, division. This was working. Yeah, it's working. This is working. So yeah, so main purpose is, if you want to subtract your value with aggregated field, how you will do that. That's the main purpose of showing you this result. So another function is in LOD is level of aggregation is.
like, can you please repeat the last thing?
So here, so if you want to use an aggregate function, if you want to subtract your main field with aggregate function, right? So how you will do is, you need to, so if you have an aggregate function, then your aggregate function should be in curly bracket. It should always be in curly bracket. Then only you can do your subtraction. Okay. So your ABC, mean, max, sum, whatever you do here. So these are all aggregate function, right? So to do subtraction of aggregate function, you need to give a curly bracket. Okay. That's what we are doing here. Is that clear or not? I will explain more if not clear then. Is this clear? Hello? Is this clear or not?
Yeah, it's clear, like I know, like like how to use the formula, but my point is still a bit unclear. Like, are we calculating the Z score here? That's why we using this formula, or what? Like, why we using this formula?
Yeah, this formula is just to show you how would you use aggregate function,
Okay.
nothing else. Okay, so another one is we have, so aggregate, in aggregate function even we have in LOD, as I mentioned, um, in LOD. So to write a LOD expression means we need to include that in curly bracket. So inside curly bracket we need to have aggregate function. Aggregate function. So what is my aggregate function? Aggregate function is sum, mean, max, count, and so on, right? So inside LOD we have three main uses, like it's a fixed, include, and exclude. So so what is fixed? Fixed means we are making one field as fixed, and then doing aggregate function, aggregation, and then doing aggregation. If we set if we set our one field as fixed and then we do aggregation, then we are using fixed LOD. Okay, so here if you want to use fixed LOD, so it starts with curly bracket and then fixed. So we are fixing one field. Okay, so let's say so let's remove all this thing. It will create more confusion. Okay. So right now let's say I have product category and product name, right? So now I want to show the sum on basis of product category. So my product category is fixed here. Okay, so let's write a calculate field. So my syntax always starts with curly bracket, and then I will write fixed, and then I product category, and then semicolon, then do a sum of my order total. Close this bracket and close this curly bracket. So what I am doing here is, so my this value is fixed. So whatever we have in product category, it will look at that product categories. For example, furnishing, it will look at furnishing, and then it will take sum of order ID. Then it will take sum of order ID, sum of this order ID. Again, it will look at housekeeping, and it will do sum. So we are here, we are doing aggregation on basis of one fixed column, one fixed column. Okay. So if we do this, apply here. So here you can see all price and all order total is same because we are fixed our aggregation based on product category, right? So here you will see all your value are same because we are fixing this sum on basis of product category. And if you take sum of orders date, So here you see total order date is this much, but here we have fixed our calculation based on product category. That's why here you can see this value are same. So what's the use of doing this fixed is, so now we can calculate the percentage for each product category. So if we do this divide by calculated order divide by order total, this will give me a percentage for my for one particular category. So I can do the percentage product category. So it will be my calculated order divided by order total. Okay. So this is not in percentage, I think. So to give format percentage, convert this into percentage. To give sum of, sorry. Okay. Yeah, and now this is working fine. So if you in format percentage, okay. This calculation moment 2268 divided by 3 1 so okay, so this is even doing multiplication of 100. That's why let's convert this format. Okay, now this is in percentage. So what we did, so we are looking for percentage of, for each product category we are calculating the percentage, right? So this is the use of fixed. We fixed our column here. So my fixed column is product category. So on basis of product category, we took the sum of order total. So this was my calculated order. So this was my field. Here we can see all information is same because we have fixed our calculation based on product category. So this information is fixed. So since this information is fixed, we can calculate percentage for each product category. So this is one of the use case for using fixed. Okay, any question here? Huh? Navjot, any question do you have here?
No, so
Uh,
Okay, Javaria.
I don't know.
no, sir, no, sir. So I will, because I'm just listening. So I will do when I will do. So if
Yeah.
I will have the questions, I can ask you.
So this was fixed. This was fixed where we one field as fixed and then do aggregation. Okay. So next one is include. Include means when we include one field, include one field and then do aggregation. So what that mean is, let's everything. So here I have product category, product name, right? Now what I will do is include include product name. So I will include my include this is a product name. Include this is a product name. I will take total of order ID. So if I include and total, so here we can see both are similar, right? So what I did is I have included this field on basis of order product name. I am taking all sum. Okay. So what this does is it included my product name and it did sum. But here we can see my result is same because even order ID will give me the same result because it aggregates on basis of this two field and it gives you the sum. So this two is similar. So where the thing will change is if you take the so what we did is we took sum of product name, right? So this was my logic. What was my logic? So on basis of product name I took sum of total order I took, right? Now what I will do is I will take the max of this. If I take max of this and still this is same, right? But if I exclude my product name, now you will see your max is different here. What I did right now is if we include product, this will be same because right now it's looking at both label, the product category and product name. So if I remove product name, what it will do is it will take max of this, this will be my sum. It will take sum of this and then it will take maximum value of this. So here we can see my maximum for furnishing. Your maximum value is 32,700, right? For furnishing. For housing, your maximum value is 5,160. So what this does is it takes the sum of product name and it gives you the maximum value of your product name. So out of this product name, which one is your maximum value? So from here you will see your maximum value is 32,700 and here you see your maximum value is 5080. So if you exclude your product name, you can see here your maximum value is shown here 2700, right? So what this include did is it take the sum and it took the max. So two levels of aggregation has been applied here. So this is one of the use case of include function. So include function, if you do aggregation, then if you do sum, then it will show the same sum. Suppose here we did sum of order id, it will show you the same result. If you then what we did max of sum of order id. Here what it did, it took the sum and it gives us the maximum value for that particular product id, right? So two level of aggregation has been applied. So what's the use case? If you will ask me, the use case will be, why did we do this? Is because here if you don't have a product name, and if you want to find out which product category has highest revenue, highest order, in this way what we can do is we can create an aggregation using include and it can take max. So what that does is it does an aggregation based on that product name and then it takes the maximum value. So this is two level of aggregation that we can apply using include. Any question here? Why did we do this? Because why did we did this? Because so looking at this table, if you want to know like which product category has highest product name, like which product name did the highest. So for this category, the highest product name has value, has this much dollar amount, we can say, out of total order. Out of total, this much is your maximum profit that you got through one product, using one product for product category. Likewise for housekeeping, this was your maximum sell and maximum profit you made by selling a product. For maintenance, this much. For office supplies, this much. So this is one of the use case for exclude, for include. Likewise, exclude means to exclude one field. To exclude one field and do aggregation. So exclude. Let's say this is my product name category. Edit. Now here, in case of include, I want to exclude my product name. And I drop here. So what this does is it gives you total amount for product category excluding your product name, right? This will give you the product category excluding your product name. So if you add some label here, So exclude, what it does, it excludes your this field product name and it gives you the calculation. But okay, so if you, even if you add city here, city here, you can see your this number is changing. Here this number is changing, exclude one is changing. Now what this is doing is, so if you have used fixed here, fixed, then it would not change. Okay, let's use fixed. So I'm showing you a difference between fixed and exclude. So if you use fixed here, so this is not changing, right? So if you, so, so if you exclude this, so this is not wrong. This is wrong. I need to use product category. Yeah. Okay. I'm fixing it to store this product category. So this is my fixed value. Okay. So I have, if I add here city, so this will not change. This is my fixed value. So this will always remain fixed. But if I do exclude, so exclude will be on which, let's say product name. Click OK, and this will change, because right now what is this is doing is, now this is aggregating on this of three field, and it is excluding your product name, right? But in fixed one, what it happens is this one field is always fixed. So whatever you do, whatever calculation you do, your value will always be fixed. But in exclude, it will do, it will exclude one field, but if you aggregate, if you do an aggregation, then that aggregation will be applied. Aggregation will be applied after excluding, after excluding that field, after excluding a particular field. Whereas in fixed, whereas in fixed, no matter how much aggregation function you apply, no matter how much aggregation we apply, so if we have, if you have set one field as fixed, then the result will show on the basis of that fixed column, right? And column. So this is one of the, this is the difference between using fixed and exclude, not using fixed and exclude. We try this by once by yourself, and it will make sense. You try yourself and play with it, and if you then if you have a question, then I can help you out. You try this by yourself. Okay, this is a bit complicated, a bit tricky. Okay. Any question? Any question here?
No, yes,
Okay. Okay. So let's take 5 minute break, and then we will start with another topic. Okay. It's already 10:44. We will go more half an hour. Is that fine? Or you have some work? We will study till 11:15.
that's fine.
So let's take 5 minute break, and then we will be back. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Hello. Hello. Navjot, are you there? Hello. Hello. So okay, I will start with exploratory data analysis. So why explore data? Why should we explore data? So exploratory data analysis is a process of using queries, statistics, and visualization to help us understand important properties of a data set. So we do exploratory data analysis so that we can clean our data and can do some statistics and some visualization so that we can do a preliminary analysis in our data and can find that if there is something missing, or is my data is inconsistent, or it's like doing a quality check. If it's like doing a pre- preliminary data analysis data analysis. Hello, Navjot, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we will start with exploratory data analysis.
Mm.
So we will discuss why I'm not able to do anything. You see on the screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, you can see my screen now, right?
Yeah, even before it, I can see.
Okay, so we will start with exploratory data analysis. So why do we need to explore data? So exploratory data analysis is a process of using queries, statistics, and visualization to help us understand important properties of a data set. So it's like doing a preliminary, preliminary data analysis to to check to check to check my data. So we want to check, do a preliminary analysis and to check whether my data is good or not. My data is good or not. So for that, we write queries, we do some statistics and do some visualization, and can see whether my data is good or not. So three ways of doing exploratory analysis is: one by queries or writing queries, statistics, and then visualization. So exploring data with statistics. So exploring data with statistics, this we have already covered. So to explore data using statistics will help us to identify our shape and tendency of our data. So we use central tendency like mean, median, and mode to see whether to check my data, and we even use variance and standard deviation to check how much variability, how much spreadness there is in my data. So we also do hypothesis testing with statistics. So what does hypothesis testing means? So this way of exploring data, calculating mean, median, mode, this is what we call descriptive statistics. And and other is we do hypothesis testing. What is hypothesis testing is, so we compare two things and we try to figure out if that we out of two things which one is good. For example, customers in southeastern states make more purchase than customers in northern states. So here we compare two states information and we see which one is better. So hypothesis testing, in hypothesis testing we have two things. One is my null hypothesis, So one is my alternative hypothesis. So hypothesis means we compare two or more things to check which one is good, which one is good or bad. For example, here we whether my customer in southeastern state is making more profit, more purchase than the customer in north state. So this can be my one my what would be my null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis here is. So here null hypothesis would be customers in both state is not not purchasing products. What would be my alternative hypothesis will be customers in both states are purchasing purchasing product. So this will be my alternative hypothesis. So what not an alternative means is not means doing nothing, is doing nothing. Alternative means doing something and simply doing something. So why did we use null and alternative is to compare which one is good. So here doing nothing is good, like not purchasing both item is fine, or purchasing, or which one is like better, like which state is doing better is good, or which state is doing, or both state is doing nothing is good. So this is my true assumption, we can say. One of just assumption says that this one assumption is not hypothesis. Not hypothesis means they are doing nothing. Both states are not making any profit. Alternative hypothesis means both states are making profit. So these are my two assumptions. One is not making, one is making. And based on these two assumptions, we do statistics, we do analysis, we do a t-test, we usually call in t-test, and we figure out which one is better, whether my null hypothesis is good or alternative hypothesis is good. So no, let's not go this in more detail right now. We will have our separate lecture in hypothesis testing. So right now, the we need to simply understand the concept of hypothesis testing is to compare two or more things, two or more product, and determine which one is good or not. For example, here customers in southeastern states is making more purchase or customers in northern states. So we are comparing two states information and which one is doing more purchase. We need to figure out that. Likewise, my second hypothesis testing would be customers over the age of 40 spend more per year than customers under the age of 30. So which one is spending more? The customers with age of greater than 40 or with less than 30 are spending more. So this can be by another hypothesis testing. Likewise, this is my third example would be customers are more likely to click on an ad than includes images than on ads that are on all text. So customers are more likely to click on ads or that includes images. So customers are more likely to click on image or simply on text. So this can be my other hypothesis testing, right? So which one is good, or which one out of two, which one is good or bad? So we can determine that using hypothesis testing. Okay? So this is also one of the interview question. So sorry, in an interview question, they will give you a certain condition, and here they will tell you to write your null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. So here my null hypothesis will be customers are not interested in clicking the images or text will be my null hypothesis. My alternative hypothesis will be are interested in clicking customers are interested in clicking images as well as text. So my null hypothesis will be, I did something wrong. So null hypothesis will be the customers are not interested, are not likely to in, click the ad that includes image and text will be my null hypothesis. My alternative hypothesis will be customers are likely to click ads that includes image, ad, and include text. So null will be not likely, alternative will be likely, and then we do hypothesis testing. So in interview question, they can ask you like a right null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis for this particular statement. Then you need to consider your null means you will not include that condition, and alternative means you will include. Okay. So any question here? Null hypothesis. What is hypothesis testing? Why we use null hypothesis? Why we use alternative hypothesis? This is an example of null and alternative hypothesis. So any question here?
No, sir.
Okay. So likewise, if you take a customer information, you can even choose. For example, you can even take for ages as less than 40. If you want to write in SQL, you can in SQL if you have a customer table, so you can write your query where your customer is less than 30 will be your one clause, and second one would be where your customer age is less than 40 will be another condition. In this way you can write your hypothesis in SQL. So out of these two, which one is, then what would be your conclusion? Like suppose, so here which one is good? Which one is good? Like is customer over the age of 40 spend more per year is correct, or customer under the age of 30 is correct? For that, we have with that which one is more significant, right? So customer average number of purchase of customer under 30 is this much, average number of purchase of customer under 40 is this much. So which one is correct, which one is more significant? For to calculate significant, which one is more significant, we use p value, which we will discuss this in separate lecture just to have a brief understanding. So if my we calculate a p value, and if my p value is something less than 0.05, this means if this score gives you less than 0.05, and this scores give you more than 0.05, if this gives you more, if this gives you less, if it is less than, this one is correct. If it gives you less than 0.05, this is correct. If it gives you greater than 0.05, then that is not correct. So if this results give me statistical p-value less than 0.05, then this assumption is correct. Like average number of purchase of customer under 30 is this one. This assumption is correct. This one is statistically significant. We say statistically significant. So we will go this in more detail in our upcoming classes. So just to have a brief understanding of what is p-value. So we will have what is p-value, why it should be less than 0.05. We will discuss all this thing in more detail. So why should we check data? So the common problems we see is missing value, values outside of an expected range is one of the main cause of checking the check. Why do we do check? Why do we do preliminary analysis? Why do we explore data? Is to check missing value. If my value is outside of expected range, if I have a malformed value like poorly formatted data, if I have, I'll give you an example of this. If my value that is violating some business rules, or we have some inconsistent values across table, then these are the main reason, these are the main bullet point of why do we check my data, why do we check the data, right? So missing data can be like a source system do not require value, in which case there is probably no easy way to figure out missing data. So like we said, if we have a missing value in your data and it is from raw file, like it's from raw file, and we don't know what to do, then what we do is usually go back to the client, go back to client. If they don't care, then we simply ignore or impute some value as per the client requirement. So error occurs when when extracting data from the source system, in which case the problematic code could be corrected and rerun the program. Which means like some cases we have data that, suppose I have my paid amount, suppose paid amount is 25, 26, 27, but one random number we usually get like 9999 something, we get 11111 something. So this this can even cause your, this can even be treated as like, or you can get -1, -1. These are also some, these are also your missing value. So this also needs to be collected. This also needs to be converted to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. These are all your missing values. So data can be outside of range. Like for example, I have customer data that have age information. So we need to be careful that my age does not cross like 200, 120 or so. If that is crossing 120, that is my outside range. Or example, for example, my month even don't consider, don't cross between 1 to 12 dates on transaction earlier than the time the business started. So this can also be one of the reason, like your transaction has, your date on transaction has started earlier, but your business has started later. So that this is also one of the data outside range. Also ports like postcode or zip code that are outside of defined range. So postcode and zip code are all standard codes. So this should be specific. This should be standardized code. So this should be specific, and it should also not cross the range. Even even working in, when I was working in a healthcare company, there even we have a patient service state, service state and paid date. I had paid date. So so there was some cases where service was taken on 2011, let's say 2011 January, but paid was 2010 January 2. So this is completely wrong, because a person is taking service on 11 but is paying on 2010. So this is also one example of data outside range. So we need to, so such thing happens. So we need to explore our data and check whether my, if my data is outside of certain range. So malformed data means, for example, if my name or descriptions are truncated, or my date format is invalid. So even your date format, even service date, suppose service date you can have 9999 to 999, future date can be like 2009 1999. You can have such date in your data. So that is invalid data character. We need to remove that. Flip out text values that have no space between words. So yeah, so if you have a text character and we don't have any space between them, suppose for example my hospital name. So I have a hospital name. So I have a hospital name that doesn't have a space. So that's also that is also a malformed data. So we need to have a proper space between my hospital name. So every company has their own business rule. So for example, if a order total is greater than the customer's credit limit, so these are the business condition, business rules that we need to consider. So so working in a finance company, if your total order is greater than your customer's credit limit, then we need to exclude that condition, right? We should not have such condition. So so that would be my business rule. Business rule is to check if my system is not failing. If my system is not failing, not failing. So so in order to in order to work in a way that my system is not failing, we need to have that business rule implemented, right? So data as ordered is saved in is earlier. So data as an order saved then audit and data is it was ordered. So this is also one of the conditions that we should not have. Product ID in an order refers to a product that is no longer available. So we have a new product ID that is no longer available. So these are all garbage thing and that we need to remove from our data. So in application, so even in application to fit my application, so my data should be clean, right, to fit my application. So I add can have such garbage value in my data because this garbage value will be seen in your application, your product application, and can be misleading and and can give you false information. So we need to remove such information. We need to clean our data so that such false information are removed or cleaned. So inconsistent values could be something like a order may have an order ID. Order items are associated with an order, and the order ID has a order item has an order ID that does not exist in the order table. So these are the inconsistent values we can have. So yeah, so quality check types of data quality check would be two things: whether by missing value check, missing one value data check, and inconsistent check. These two are the main data quality check that we usually do. So inconsistent example can be my postcode of say Massachusetts. This is states Connecticut state is from this to this range. My postcode is this to this range. So if we get any value outside of this range, would be my inconsistent value. So business logic would be we need to make sure that so business logic should be implemented in a way that my application or my product which I am using does not throw any error. So business logic should be in that way. So this is an example of what you should not be like. Employee start date cannot be earlier than the start date of a company. So this should be my own business rule, right? So yeah, so charges to an account should not be greater than the credit limit. This should be your own business rule. So every company, every organization has a business logic, and that needs to be implemented so that the application that the client is saying is accurate. Application is correct. So we need to clean all this information. So imputing missing values can be like imputing missing values means filling in a missing value with a reasonable value, right? So we can choose either of the following. So continue without replacing missing value. So do as is. Define or default value, like I said, zero or some other value, default value, or look at neighbor rows. And so neighbor rows means let's say if I have a paid amount of $25 for some item one, I have blank for item two, and $20 for item three. So what neighbor means, it looks at up and down corresponding rows, and it incorporates the value here. So neighbor has 25. Let's add 25 in missing row. Or look, this is look up or look down. So we can apply either look up or look down, and we can impute the missing values. So this is my third technique. Fourth one is based on regression, like we studied, right? Regression is like, so we have values here. So this is my price. So this is my price, and this is my price of house, let's say for example. And this is my square feet house, square feet. So let's say some 25 square feet house cost 5,000, and 28 square feet is 8,000. So in this way we can predict like my 30 square feet house will have some 100,000. So you can predict a line. This line is called a regression line. And here, if we have a house, if my house square feet is given 30, and if we need to know the price, we can even use a regression technique, and we can see like my 30 or 30 square feet, my price is somewhere here. So it's somewhere here, 30 square feet, somewhere like $12,000. So we can even use regression method and can impute the missing value. Any question here? Namsur?
Yes, sir.
Any question?
No question, but a little bit confusion. It's all like too much.
Yeah. Hmm. Yes. So how much slide is remaining?
Sorry?
So we have like more 8 slide.
Okay.
So let's stop till here then. We will continue from next week, right? Because it's already the 24.
Okay.
Or let's complete this. I think let's, because it's like more 8 slides. It will not take. It will take hardly 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let's complete this. So these are the four ways of imputing missing values. First is we can leave as is. Second is we can say the default value zero or something else. Third is we can look at a neighboring rows. Either we can look up or we can look down and can impute values based on the surrounding values. And fourth is to regression. Regression we can predict what my value is based on my x variable. We can look at y variable and can check and can impute my values. So no replacement, no additional work. Like if we follow one, if we follow first technique, so continue without replacing missing value. If we continue without replacing missing value, advantage is we don't need to do anything, right? But the disadvantage is those with missing value will not contribute anything to the total, right? And may not be possible to perform some calculation. So this would be my disadvantage because we are leaving the row as is, right? So define a default value, like I said, like you can define a default value as zero if you want to assume your missing value as zero, or you can define a as one if you want zero, but may need to use the value in the denominator of so that you can so you can use one because in if you use zero, if you divide something like one, if you use a division, one by zero will be infinity. So instead of zero, you can even use one. The average of all values in the column. We can even use average, like I said, average. You can even use average of like, based on neighboring. I think values we can even look, or we can even group with certain field, and we can even impute that values by grouping data or by sorting the rows. We can look what physical value we can impute in missing field. We can look at the physical value based on grouping data, doing aggregation, or by sorting. We can check the neighbor values and can impute that value in our missing field. So, so that was so these things are very important. These things are very important and often asked in interview. This is asked in interview. So, so now I'm explaining you about what to do. So this is the data analysis part. This is, so if you don't know what to do, then these are the checklist I have prepared. Like in your data, you don't know what to check or what to do. Then if you follow this checklist, then you can make some sense of your data. Okay? Suppose suppose you have imported your data. So first step would be to import data. Okay. Then the second step. So check all the date fields. So ranges reasonable for the event or entity that is being described in the data. Compare dates with each other and check if there is a significant difference or not. Or even if my data is in the future date, does it make sense to the type of data it is, right? So if you have a date field, suppose if you have two date fields with one, so let's say I have two date field, paid date and service date. Check the difference between these two dates. If the difference is consistent or not. If if difference is not consistent, suppose if one is giving me a future value, suppose my paid date is 2020 0101, but my service date is 2009 0101 31. This is my future value. So is this expected or not? This is a cut clear cut inconsistent data we see. Inconsistent data. So what should we do for this data? So if you have a date field, do a comparison of your date and check if you have any future date or not. If there is a future date, then look why you are having future data, why you are having future data, and how many records this future date contributes. You need to check that, right? So this is one of the basic preliminary analysis that we do when we check columns like date field. So numeric, likewise, in numeric field, check top 10 and bottom 10, right? And also check the standard deviation. So if you have a numeric field, the best way is to plot a histogram so that we can see what value of data we are having here, and it can check see whether one is outlier or not, clear outlier or not. It's completely out of the range or not. We can see plot a histogram and see, even calculate a standard deviation and see the variance of my data, how much variance do we have in my data, standard deviation we have in my data, right? So standard deviation check would be to check mean standard deviation. So we know from, I have explained this for a well-shaped curve, right? So this is my mu. So this is my mu plus sigma, mu plus 2 sigma, and this is my mu minus sigma, mu minus 2 sigma. So mu plus sigma, mu minus sigma. This is my 65%. Mu plus 2 sigma is my 95% data, and 3 sigma is 99% data. So anything outside 3 sigma, mu plus 3 sigma is anything outside of this range is outlier. So we check upper threshold 3 times and lower threshold 3 times. Anything greater than upper threshold or lower threshold is considered as outlier. So anything that is except my mu plus 3 theta 3 times sigma and mu minus 3 times sigma, anything outside of this range is my outlier, right? We can check that whenever we have a numerical field. For text field, so text field can be a categorical field. Categorical field, for example, gender. For numerous people, we can have gender male and female. So gender male and female is a categorical field. So this should be a small number of distinct values. If the value is largely unique, then the number of unique values should be close to the number of rows. So each name should have one. Each name should be one row. So, for example, my first name and last name. Every first name and last name should be one. So should have one row. And you check the length of the string and sort by length and see if there's some long or short value. So in text, if you have some long or short value, you can sort and check. Right? Also for categorical value, we do a box plot here. So this would be my box plot. This would be for male, and this would be for female. You can do a box plot and can check my text whether it's ranging or not. It's ranging. Its values is within the box range or if we have some outlier. So we can check the categorical value. So this is my final slide for exploring data. So exploring data helps us to understand the quality of data. We need to identify missing values, looking for unusual trend, any inconsistent data. If you have check distribution of data, that is, you need to check the shape, to do a box plot or histogram. So these are the things that we need to do while we explore our data, right? So these are the things, and we will implement. We will do an exploratory analysis in Python in next week. So 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 before doing exploratory analysis, you need to have these things in your mind. Okay. So next week, tomorrow We will do Python and R, and in next week we will start exploratory analysis.
So tomorrow I have to go at 11. So is that okay if I finish a bit early tomorrow?
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah, that's it for today.
It was really confusing and all. I don't know. How would I do this?
Which part was confusing?
The even the hypothesis and the other things
So
like
yeah, the hypothesis part we will have separate lecture here, separate class we will have
mm,
on hypothesis part. Don't worry about hypothesis. We will have separate class. And other,
yeah, other even I will have a look again.
okay,
So if there will be any confusion, then we'll ask you.
okay, yeah. Try to do it by It's all about practicing. Yeah, the
Mhm.
more you practice. Yeah, okay. Also try to do the exercises that I have given to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, try to do that.
I always think to do it, but
Yeah. Okay. We'll see tomorrow then. Tomorrow we will go through R and Python. Tomorrow will be more interesting than today's class.
more complicated as well. Or
Not complicated, more interesting. Today's was a really simple thing. We didn't read any complicated thing. I don't think so.
yeah, because
One thing
unless
was
we do it,
complicated.
it seems complicated. Once we do,
Yeah,
then it's fine.
yeah. It is. It is. It will be easy for you if you do by. Yeah, if you do by because right now only you are listening,
Mm.
and yeah, and that is making you more complicated, I think.
Yeah, because by listening, I can do is like just imagine the things.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
the
yeah,
problem. So we don't. I don't know like when I'll do it practically, will like how it would be. So that's fine.
yeah. That's why practice. I think practice. I'm as much you can practice.
Mm.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.